Rebels, welcome back to the Health Rebel, where we don't chase symptoms, we chase real answers. And today we're answering a really big one. How do you know if your gut is actually the problem? What tests work, which ones are a waste, and do you even need to test at all? Now, if you've been following the Gut Reboot series here, you already know how powerful the gut is. But maybe you're thinking, okay, cool, but how do I know my gut's actually messed up? Well, let's get into it. But first, do your gut a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe, drop a comment below if you've ever taken a gut test or even thought about it. The more comments we get, the better the algorithm likes us, and the more people this video can help. And remember, I'm not a doctor. This is not a diagnosis, treatment, or a substitute for working with a real practitioner. This is you and me just talking about what actually works based on my experience, research, and a whole lot of trial and error. So first up, do you even need a gut test? That's a real good question. And let's be real about that. Most people already know their gut is off. If you've got different things like bloating or food sensitivities, fatigue, skin issues, constipation or diarrhea, mood swings, brain fog, cravings, sleep problems, or joint pain, you don't need a lab to tell you something's off. You need to start healing. Testing is helpful, but it's not required to take action. So if you can afford it or you're overwhelmed, start with food, lifestyle, and basic gut support. You're going to get results without a single lab bill. That said, if you want to go deeper, if you feel like you need to, here's what's worth knowing. The first test you should know about is called comprehensive stool testing. This is the gold standard. Basically what it tells you is if you've got bad bacteria, parasites, candida or fungal overgrowth, inflammation markers, if your pancreatic enzyme output, how your body is breaking down fat, the strength of your good bacteria colonies, whether your gut lining is inflamed. Why it really matters is it shows you the terrain. Think of it like a blueprint of what's going on inside your gut. Not just symptoms, but actual imbalances. And great if you've been trying to heal but still feel stuck. Even better if you've done multiple protocols and need to figure out what's missing. The downside, it's not cheap. Expect $300 to $450 depending on the lab that you go to. Test number 2 is called an organic acids test. This one isn't gut specific, but it gives insight into how your gut byproducts affect your brain, liver, energy, and even more than that. And what it looks at are things like yeast overgrowth, candida, clostridia, bacteria, your detox pathways, things called oxalates, which are gut-driven toxins, your mitochondrial function, which is the energy producer in your body, neurotransmitter precursors, and you may not feel gut symptoms directly, but the downstream effects like fatigue, mood issues, sleep problems can all be gut related, and this test picks all that stuff up. Test number 3 is called the SIBO, S-I-B-O, breath test. Stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And this test measures hydrogen and methane gas levels after drinking a sugary solution. If you get super bloated, gassy, or foggy after eating, especially carbs, this could be the culprit. Why does it matter? Well, SIBO is often the reason you feel worse when eating healthy, high-fiber foods. It causes gas, diarrhea, or constipation, or even skin or joint systems. Pro tip, do this test only if you've got the classic symptoms. Otherwise, it's probably not your issue. Test number 4, zonulin and LPS. These are for leaky gut. If you want to know if your gut lining is literally leaky, these blood or stool markers can help. Zonulin tells you if your gut walls are too loose. LPS shows if bacterial toxins are leaking into your bloodstream. Calprotectin can measure inflammation in the colon. So it's important to understand that if these are elevated, your gut barrier is compromised. You've got leaky gut, and it's triggering a full body response. Now, let's talk for a minute about functional versus conventional testing. This is a spoiler alert. Most regular doctors aren't testing for any of this, unfortunately. You know, if your labs come back normal, but you feel like garbage, you're not crazy. You're just looking in the wrong place. Functional testing looks at function, not just disease. That's where the answers are hiding. So what if you don't want to test? Well, that's totally fair because not everyone has access to fancy labs. Here's what you can do instead. Track your symptoms. Write down how you feel after meals. Eliminate common irritants, things like gluten, dairy, sugar, seed oils, and alcohols. If you do those, you're going to be in a much better spot. Add gut support. Drink some bone broth. Take some L-glutamine, zinc carnosine, and probiotics. And remember, go slow. Detox pathways matter. Don't push too hard, too fast. And watch the patterns. If symptoms get better when your food gets cleaner, that's your test right there. Final thought I have for you is that testing can be powerful, but it's not the starting line. The symptoms are often the test. And the real question isn't do I have a gut problem? It's am I ready to start fixing it with or without a lab slip? Don't let not taking a lab make you not do anything. Now, we're going to be wrapping up this playlist for now. But until you move on to another playlist, do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me you've tested your gut, or maybe you haven't. You've just worked with the systems. And if this has helped you understand what's going on inside your body. And remember, stay strong, stay smart, and keep rebelling, because no one's coming to save your gut but you. Love you all.